We are live on YouTube, second day in a row. We'll see how long we go for this time, see what the weather's doing. Hopefully for today we end up catching this a little bit on the earlier side so that we're not starting in the middle of it or anything like that. But we should be all right. I'm going to make sure that everything is set up. Should be so. So let me know how this is coming through. Should be coming through loud and clear on you guys' end. If it is not, make sure to let me know so I can get that fixed early and we don't have any further kinks to work out. Obviously, there's bound to be a few. Yeah, a lot going on today. Widespread day of severe weather. West Virginia got a lot of warnings, a lot of potential, actually. Got some tornadic-looking storms in there. Several tornado warnings have been up here across the Northeast. Got a nice little tornado warning approaching Dover, New Jersey here, just to the north of Morristown. Some solid rotation on this storm here, approaching the Dover area. Mine Hill, Wharton, Roxbury Township. You guys are in the middle of this right now. So, yeah, you got this for another little bit here. I'm not even too concerned about how long these warnings have left on them. If you're under one, heed it. That's how I would go about this. Tornado warning up here as well for Callicoon, Jeffersonville, North Branch, Callicoon Center, Liberty. It's the state of New York. It's going to be a lot of probably confusion about what state we're in for today. Just tis the nature of a day like this, very widespread. But West Virginia, you guys up here, I mean, this is a nasty-looking storm approaching the Weston and Buchanan area in West Virginia over the next few minutes. It does have some broad rotation on it, but I'm more concerned than anything about this hail. Some massive hail in there. You can see these kind of yellows, greens. That's where the radar is thinking, wait a minute, something seems a little odd here. These things are not supposed to be in the atmosphere, and that'd be exactly the reason. You guys let me know. Here's the smoothed radar. It's pretty. You can lose some important information from this. I'm going to have to make a decision. You guys let me know on which one you want to see. And we got some nice storms getting going back over here, over southern Indiana and Ohio. And a big storm in the Cincinnati area right now. You guys can deal with it. It's just some heavy rain, gusty winds right now, some stronger winds in the western Cincinnati area. Hebron, up to North Bend, you guys experiencing some strong wind gusts. A lot of these seem to be some hail producers, too. I was a little surprised, based on some of the models, we didn't get an upgraded hail threat with this storm, or the system, rather, but that is what it is. Tornado possible, severe thunderstorm for the Huntington area in West Virginia, just right along the Ohio River here. Nice little hook on it there. Broad rotation, nothing too crazy. The only tornado warnings we have right now are up here, New York and New Jersey here. The one approaching Dover, New Jersey looks decent here. Some nice rotation on that, so make sure you're in your safe spots. Storm up here, approaching the Liberty area. Also has some broad rotation. It's very weak, though, so I'm not too worried about it. Got to make sure everything is good on my end here. Everything looks like it is. No dropped frames or anything weird like that. So that looks good. But yeah, if you're just tuning in now, we got a severe weather outbreak potentially on our hands here over the next little bit of time. So yeah, definitely a lot to be watching out for. A lot of alerts. And we'll have to just keep watching. We're going to be watching also further south throughout today, the southern Appalachians, the mid-Atlantic. We have several alerts out here, severe thunderstorm warnings for some of these storms in central Virginia, but even down into North Carolina, we have a risk. We do have some scattered development getting going north of Wilmington, around the Jacksonville area in North Carolina here. Over towards the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina. Some in the mountains, not a whole lot going on. That could change, though, through the afternoon hours. And we got some pretty big storms going up in southern Indiana. We just got an upgrade to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for several areas. Little York, Scottsburg, Vienna, and Austin in Indiana here. So definitely some larger storms. Notice how a lot of these have kind of a hook to them. So tornadoes are going to definitely be on the table. We only have a 5% risk. And I say only because I feel like we could have reasonably gone up to a 10% risk for today. But we'll see. Maybe these storms end up, clustering up. It appears on radar we've got a band of supercells in southern Indiana here. So something to watch. Some big storms in West Virginia. Tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning between Lancaster and Zanesville, Ohio here. Kind of zooming out to get my area straight. You guys are probably going to notice that I'm not totally confident in some of the areas that we're looking at here. This is not my strong suit here. This area of the country is not a lot of counties, a lot of interesting borders, so I may be zooming out, zooming in to figure out what area I'm in. Checking in on this tornado possible severe thunderstorm for Weston and Buckhannon, West Virginia here. Still producing probably some very large hail. I'm surprised that they don't have that as more of a threat. They're calling for 1 1/4 inch hail, which is nothing to scoff at, but it's also nothing compared to what I think it could be. They could have this flagged for over 2-inch hail if they wanted to. Look at some of our other products here. Yeah, do you see this little core? I'll draw it on here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the drawing tool. It's a good idea. I'm going to draw it in here so we can see it. The area I'm about to circle should be pretty obvious once you see it. It's this area right here. That area is where we've got hail. And the reason that is showing up as hail is because the lower values on differential reflectivity are where it is roughly the same dimensions vertically as it is horizontally. So that means it's a sphere, right? And if it's a sphere, it's likely to be hail. These reds are where it's way taller than it is wide. So that's just rain, right? Because raindrops kind of have this, the appearance kind of like that. So they're much taller than they are wide, and the radar knows that, so that's why it shows up in red. But just a little fun fact there, I guess. But definitely some hail showing up. But this is thankfully not the most populated area. It's mountainous out here, but it's still a nasty storm either way. And checking in on some of our tornado warnings up here for, got to get my areas right here. It's it's right around New York City, but for the state of New Jersey, we got a nice looking hook on this storm. Still some strong rotation. I don't see any debris, but that doesn't mean there's not a weak tornado down, right, going over the town of Dover and Wharton. I was trying to say two places at one time. But you can see it here. A lot of towns in here. That's the other thing about the southern New England areas, the Northeast. The towns are very smushed together. So you see a lot of areas, a lot of towns that could be impacted. But if you are in Dover, Victory Gardens, Union Hill, Rockaway, Tabor, Denville, in extreme northern and northern central areas of New Jersey, we do have a tornado-producing storm approaching you here. Eventually, a big picture here. This is going just to the north of Morristown right now. We're approaching the Patterson, Passac, I guess is how you would say that. Hackensack, Mount Vernon, and New York City is just down here to the south and east. So we could have some nasty storms. A lot of these could be eventual tornado producers. Definitely some strong rotation there, though. And we'll just keep watching. Another tornado warning issued up here for the town of Wananta. Wananta, I believe is how you say that. I'm probably going to botch a lot of names today. I'm going to throw that out there. Not a whole lot of rotation showing up here, but anywhere we have these little kinks in the front of the line, like we do around Cope's Corner here, Mallory Corner. There's a lot of corners up here. Anywhere we have those, that's where there could be a little bit of rotation. Hard to say for sure. We're also very close to the radar, so that sometimes artifacts can show up, but we'll continue watching. It looks like the Northeast is the hot spot for tornadoes right now. No other tornado warnings issued. Could change, though. Checking in our massive storm down here in West Virginia for the Weston and Buckhannon areas. Still definitely producing some strong updrafts and therefore very large hail. Rotation-wise, definitely some rotation here around the Finster area. Gilhooly, I believe is how you'd say that. Get just broad rotation here. I'm not overly concerned about this storm about to produce a tornado, but that, again, could change. So it's something we do need to watch out for. But if you're just tuning in now, make sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate those things. We also, I got to schedule it here. I may do that kind of on the fly while the stream is going. It doesn't have to interfere with anything, but there'll be a normal video dropping probably around 5 or 5:30. So we'll be talking about a lot of things, the tropics, among other things in that video, just to make sure everybody's aware and everything's going well. Overall, Tropical Storm Bertha has kind of exceeded expectations a little bit, but still isn't anything we need to be too worried about. Big picture look, I know this map is messy. There's a lot of cities and all that good stuff. You can see the general idea, though. Storms going over Ohio. These storms in central Ohio could, as they make their way down, they're going to be going right into the middle of this enhanced risk area. So something to watch out for. We do have a 45% risk of damaging wind gusts, as you can see above me here. So definitely an elevated threat for damaging wind gusts. And that's really more than anything just for the widespread nature of these wind gusts more than anything else. I'm going to do something on the fly here. You guys aren't going to see it more than likely. I'm going to try to find, if I don't have it already, a place file for this that lets us do storm reports. So I'm gonna do that. Let's see here. I'm gonna leave you guys on these tornado warnings. You did just get a new tornado warning issued up here for Dover, Boone, Bontontown. Again, guys, I'm gonna botch some names here. Notice the sheer number of cities in this area: Denville, Rockaway Township, a lot of other areas. Just to the north of Morristown in New Jersey, here we got a new tornado warning issued. Broad rotation is still very apparent on the storm. I'm gonna leave you guys with this view and hop over to Google Chrome and see if I can find this. But I trust me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm keeping an eye on things. Definitely going to be a big, long-lived day. A lot of people streaming right now. I was noticing, I was watching some YouTube before I got going with the stream here, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people streaming. Most of the big names are streaming today. Not surprising. Come on, Wi-Fi, don't quit on me now. All right, we appear to be back. I don't know what the heck happened there, but we should be back. Yeah, we are back. All right. Hopefully, yeah, I can already tell that the Wi-Fi is doing some stuff with the fact that this Chrome tab is not loading. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find some storm reports because I wanna have those in there. Okay, now that should be all there is to it. Move this out of the way. Yeah, that's not it. I think we're going to just live with it for now. I might find one later that I like. Yeah, it'll be all right. Okay. Well, back to more important things, as in the severe weather outbreak potential we've got on our hands. Still some tornado warnings up here for areas just north of Morristown, New Jersey here. honestly, guys, I mean, these are going to be really hard to spot more than likely on radar. We're going to see the rotation. We're going to see this storm. But with as much clutter as there is on radar here, it's going to be very hard to figure out exactly where, these tornadoes actually could be or how many of them there are. But either way, that's not going to stop us here, at least for a little while. Another thing, that we have a few of these on the map, but we have flood alerts as well for some of the river areas. New tornado warning issued for areas just south of Zanesville, Ohio here. Just so this is big picture. This is just east of Columbus, and it's going to be very hard to tell. This is the nearest tower that we've got, and the beam is up nearly 10,000 feet in the sky. So we do not have good information about this storm. There's a strong mid-level rotation, but that doesn't tell the whole story by any means. Storm down here between Weston and Buckhannon, West Virginia, starting to get its act together when it comes to hooking. Nice little rotation here. Going over the mountains, you can see over the terrain here on satellite, the map that I'm using. It's a very hilly area, very beautiful, though. I've been up in this area. It's very nice. Not that area specifically, but areas around there. Nice tornadic-looking supercell just to the north and east of Huntington, West Virginia here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, a lot of these storms are kind of your garden variety, run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorms, right? They'll pack a punch, but they're not too crazy. Some of them are worse than others, though. A storm for Scottsburg, Indiana here, still with that considerable severe damage threat for 70 miles per hour, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, I should say. Look at velocity. There's some strong wind in here for sure, just to the north and west of Little York, Indiana. I think it's going to be difficult. I think we're going to have to pick an area to focus on here because we're doing a lot of moving around. But yeah, that's the thing about these widespread threats. I think we are just going to focus on the tornado warnings. Out of these, the Zanesville storm here is going to be very hard to figure out due to how far away from the radar we are. But there is definitely some strengthening rotation here approaching Moxhalla Park, South Zanesville, Brush Creek in Ohio here. It's right around the Fultonham area, East Fultonham right now. Definitely some broad rotation. I'm going to leave that warning alone, though, for just a moment here. And we're going to move over to some of these other ones. The storm just to the north of Morristown has been consistently looking pretty impressive on radar here, so we'll keep watching that. There's kind of a loop for you. It's a very small storm, man. Doesn't mean it can't do anything by any means. And so just got to keep watching it. Driving from Virginia to Maine, Massachusetts, early in the morning. Hope there's not much flooding or damage. Yeah, I have to see. I think we got a lot of time left. I mean, I am very curious to see how widespread this event ends up being by the end of today, because I wouldn't be surprised. I mentioned this in a video not all that long ago about how it seems like a lot of the events we've had recently have not performed the way expected. Yesterday was kind of like that. As far as I know, we didn't really get the widespread tornadic activity that was expected. And that's obviously a good thing. We shouldn't be complaining. But, I am curious, I guess put it that way, to see what shows up here. I'm going to grab my tablet here and open it up and leave it on a live clock. So I've got an actual live clock counting seconds in front of me so I can see how old these scans are. This scan right now is roughly a minute and a half old, but it's important once we really get down into it to have updated information. New scan just did come in here. This storm is not looking really any better or any worse. Broad rotation going over the Denville area. So if you're in and around Denville, New Jersey, you need to be taking shelter now. Several tornado warnings ongoing up here. A lot of storms getting going over eastern areas of Pennsylvania. Most of them aren't warned. That could change. Otherwise, I think we're okay. I am going to focus on these storms up here especially if they're in and around New York City. I mean, that's about as high populated as you need to be. So yeah, that's just something to watch. Got the live clock going now, so that should be helpful. It's kind of as you may be able to tell from a few different things, kind of a last minute idea to stream this one. But I was kind of sitting here at home and I was thinking to myself, wouldn't be a bad idea to just get some coverage on this one because this could be pretty widespread. I'm going to leave this one alone, jump up to this one here. For many towns, as we can see, rotation, very hard to pick out where there's actually rotation in this. Not that there's none, it's just hard to pick out. And yeah, a lot of these just seem to be kind of precautionary tornado warnings. There's not any crazy hazard, but they do seem to be somewhat precautionary. Storm around Zanesville, Ohio here. I mean, there's two towers we can pick from. This one is scanning 11,000 feet. This one's scanning at 11,000 feet. So we're looking way up in this storm, but there's definitely some broad. Looks like that's side lobe contamination, actually. Let me click on another site here. Yeah, there's definitely some broad rotation up here in the mid-levels. Of course, that doesn't tell you the story about the surface, which is a little odd considering, I mean, they did issue this warning. So that's a little odd for sure. A lot of these storms have some sort of mid-level rotation to them. Storm approaching the Buckhannon area, among other areas. It's going over Roanoke, Arnold, Jacksonville, West Virginia. This is right now. Definitely producing some broad rotation on radar. The new scan just came in. It is about 30 seconds old now. Got to wait for the velocities to come in, so see what they show. Definitely a broad area of rotation. The storm overall looks beefy, very impressive. But, that doesn't tell the whole story, not every time. I'm going to wait for this new scan to come in. I'm a little surprised that they haven't issued a tornado warning for this. New scan just came in. I mean, the rotation is broad. Of course, I say it on this scan. Of course, it looks broad, but the overall presentation of this storm, nice hook echo here, kind of all out on its own. If it was for me, I probably would have issued a tornado warning for this. I will not lie. A lot of severe thunderstorms going up now around southern Indiana, southwest Ohio. Just generally a lot of activity. Most of these are garden variety, as we talked about earlier, but any one of these could start to produce a tornado pretty soon here. This storm around Paoli, I believe is how you'd say this, in Indiana here, does have some broad rotation. Again, a lot of these have rotation in them. You can see anywhere these colors border. This is one to the north of Winslow. We have one around West Baden Springs here, one around New Perkin / Borden. Actually, that looks like it might be a downdraft signature. Could be some strong winds coming towards you guys. And Starlight, Scottsville. But a lot of these are rotating, and none of them are out on their own, making me overly worried here. Just some gusty winds, hail, and then probably if we're going to get a tornado threat out of these storms, it won't be all that much longer until we start to see that. This storm around Zanesville, Brush Creek, still just broad rotation. That's all we really have to know about this one. A mesoscale discussion says, let's see, when this was issued. This was issued at 2:33. So this is 6 minutes old. Mesoscale discussion, you see this blue outline across West Virginia here, and it says, and I quote, a locally greater risk for all severe hazards is likely to accompany two discrete / semi-discrete supercells currently located across portions of West Virginia over the next hour or so. So they're talking about this one, approaching the Milton and Hurricane area, eventually Charleston, West Virginia. Any one of these, this thing could produce tornado, large hail. This one up here between Weston and Buckhannon, currently impacting areas like Jacksonville, Crawford, Jewell, Vandalia, Georgetown, eventually Abbott. Could also be a very strong storm here in the near term. So we'll have to see. Definitely some very favorable atmosphere out there for these storms. A lot of these storms up here across southern New England, the Northeast, are also somewhat run-of-the-mill. They aren't too crazy, at least right now. They may have been earlier. Broad rotation. I would say the storm around Denville, Boonton Town, Lake Hiawatha, this area in general, just to the north and west of New York City, of storms could produce tornadoes, but a lot of the rotation on these is broad now. Flash flood, is this a warning? Should be a warning. Yeah, flash flood warning. Also co-located with an area that has a tornado warning, as this storm has not really moved over the past little bit of time. You see training for sure. Very hard to pick out if there's any rotation. I would say right off the bat there's not really any in there. The further northeast we get with this, the less likely we are to actually be seeing, significant severe weather. It should stay further down here to the south. Zoom in on some of these storms. The Zanesville storm is in a good position to be tornadic. It's all by itself. I think the wildfire smoke has been messing with systems. I'm assuming you wrote this a while ago. Yeah, I do. I think models struggle with that. I think they don't really know what to call it, quote unquote. They don't really know what it is. In fact, I know that there's some models out there that treat smoke or aerosol, just dust in general in the atmosphere, as energy. They pick it up as something else. So it's hard to say, but a lot of models haven't been handling that well. And it's something we just have to keep an eye out for when forecasting, because I think it has messed up a lot of our forecasts. I would say that it coincides well with the way that some of these events have gone. Some of the busts that we've had that were more significant also were around the times that we had some of these bigger plumes of wildfire smoke in the area. So it's something to consider. I can't say for sure, but it's more than likely models not handling that well, and then the actual smoke itself tampering with the atmosphere on the day of an event. That's what I would have to guess. But right now, a lot of our activity is tame, somewhat. We can handle it. New severe thunderstorm warning issued for areas just to the west of Charleston. This storm actually looks like it's struggling a little bit right now. Has a different appearance on radar than it did not all that long ago. You can see it's kind of a downtrend over the last few scans. Keep watching it. The storm, however, just to the south and west of Buckhannon, West Virginia, is a different story. Strong rotation. Scan is just about a minute old. I say strong rotation. It's barely showing up on the velocity, but you can see a clear hook here, and that, for the most part, would tell me that we have rotation on this storm. A lot of storms over here in southern Indiana, southwest Ohio. These ones are going to be interesting. They're slowly moving towards the enhanced risk area. That's not to say that the enhanced risk area is the area that means anything, but you would just assume that means they're headed towards a more favorable environment. And if that is the case, then we will have to watch further downstream here. But if you're tuning in now, consider liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate those things. We've been live for about 30 minutes now. Gotta just keep watching, see what happens with these storms. It's going to be hard to say with the widespread nature of these exactly what to cover and what's worth it, but there's plenty to talk about right now. They're just very spread out across many, many states. Yeah, kind of like I mentioned not too long ago, I do think that these storms that are in New York State right now, as they work their way up to the north and east, slowly they're kind of pivoting around with this surface low. I think as they do so, they could produce some scattered severe weather for sure, but they will likely be on a downtrend overall. That's just a broad statement, but likely for the next little while.
A new tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning for areas just north of Richmond, Virginia here. Ashland, Doswell, Ruther Glen, Hanover Courthouse, surrounding areas. You can see this very clear hook on radar. Broad rotation, somewhat strong rotation as well. Storm kind of out ahead of everything else. So as this thing moves off to the east and kind of east-northeast, if you're up towards the areas like Warsaw, Tappahannock, you guys got to be watching out for this. Possibly tornadic storm as it gets just further out ahead of the rest of these. And it doesn't appear, at least as of recently, I'm going to make sure this is the case. Does not appear that we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the state of Virginia right now. But this was also issued. This is a while ago. So I'm going to check another source just to make sure I'm not missing it here. They were talking about a possible watch issuance. Make sure that's not the case. It may well be the case, and the software is just a little behind here. No, they have not. So something to watch. Also, something that's of note, in my opinion, the storm chasers that we have on this are all west, which is not that many, by the way. But the storm chasers that we do have on this system are in southern Indiana right now. So if that tells you anything, they're expecting that worst part of the threat to be over there. Not that it will be, not that it has to be, but they are most confident in this kind of cluster of storms in southern Indiana right now. I don't have their feeds pulled up in Supercell Weather here. If I was using Weatherfront, I could view them. And I love Weatherfront, guys. A lot of you that know who I am, have been watching me make videos for a while, know that I've used Weatherfront for a while, but my computer ultimately is not a huge fan of Weatherfront when streaming. It's a big mess. A lot of lag, random issues. That's what I get for using a laptop for all this, but it is what it is. Definitely some broad rotation. Very strong mid-level rotation on this storm around Brush Creek and Blue Rock, Ohio here, just to the south of Zanesville. Tornado warned right now. Hard to say what's going on at the ground, but it's something to watch. Very solid-looking storm to the south and west of Buckhannon, West Virginia as well. Some broad rotation, big hook, large hail, just an overall damaging storm. New tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning issued for the storm that was tornado warned. Currently still is. I think they're going to drop that soon. Rotation has gotten quite broad around Boonton Town here to the south of Montville. So that doesn't mean it can't do anything later. It just means it's not doing anything too noteworthy right this moment. I think ultimately what I'm going to do, and there's a severe thunderstorm watch, by the way, for Virginia, the Delmarva, southern areas of New Jersey. Tornado warning just issued for areas just to the south and east of Cincinnati. So this is going to be the new kind of warning of interest because it was just recently issued. That is a strong area of rotation around 9 Mile, Locust Corner, New Palestine, Camp Springs, Silver Grove. Anywhere around here, you have an imminent tornado threat. Downwind, Amelia, Hamlet, Lindale, Mount Holly. You guys are out ahead of this. Big picture here. Zoom out even a little bit more. Just the town of Amelia, Bethel, Williamsburg, Batavia, I believe is how you'd say that. Tornado warning issued for you guys. Imminent tornado is possible. Very strong area of rotation between Ross and 9 Mile. And what state am I in? Ohio here. So, something to watch. The rest of these storms could go tornado warned soon as well. This is going to be the one to watch. So I'm going to center this view here so we can keep watching it. I'm going to leave you guys on velocity. This scan is getting towards 3 minutes old. So hopefully we get a new one. We're likely to any moment now. So just watching the top right corner. We'll see when it updates. But yeah, it's now beyond 3 minutes old. It is 2:49 and 20 seconds Eastern time. So this is getting old. Hopefully that we get a new scan here, especially with an active tornado warning on the ground here. And again, since we're not using Weatherfront, I don't have the chaser feeds by default. I'm going to go up here and see if anyone's on this. It doesn't appear there is. New scan just came in. Definitely a strong area of rotation between New Palestine and Locust Corner in Ohio here. So it's fast moving, but there's very much a possible tornado. I don't see any debris. All of this is pink, which means it's all supposed to be in the atmosphere. If it was yellow, green, blue even, that would mean something's off. It's not supposed to be in the atmosphere. But this could change quickly. So if you are in, I'm going to put this on loop here. If you are in Lindale, South Bantam, Nicholsville, you guys are out ahead of this. Amelia, Hamlet, Mount Holly as well. Saltaire, Bethel, Wigginsville, Mount Olive, Maple. You guys are also out ahead of this. So this tornado warning is radar indicated as of now. They could change it if we start to get some debris signatures to radar confirmed very soon here. So there's the radar presentation. Now there's a lot of lines on the screen, but very beefy looking supercell with a clean inflow. I'm going to leave this on velocity here. Otherwise, I'm going to zoom out real quick just to make sure there's nothing else to go crazy about. Did get a new tornado warning over here for Patterson, New Jersey here. I don't agree with this. I don't see any real rotation that's worth noting. The Zanesville storm is also quite impressive. Some strong rotation. 2-inch hail is possible, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and when the tornado warning continues, very strong area of mid-level rotation over Blue Rock right now. But it is very hard to tell what the storm's doing because we don't have a close radar. The same is not the case for the Cincinnati storm, though. We have a very close radar. Waiting for a new scan to come in here. This is also now getting towards 3 minutes old. So I'm expecting a strong area of rotation between Blairsville, Locust Corner, Mount Pisgah, somewhere in this area. So I'm going to do it like this. If you guys are in here, you need to be watching out over the next few to several minutes for a potential tornado to be on the ground. Continue checking some of our other tools here. We desperately need a radar update, I will say. Okay, reflectivity is in. Let me get this off the screen here. Velocity should be soon. So I'm going to leave it here. Reflectivity is also always going to be kind of the primary thing that they watch out for and make sure that it's updated, but velocity is definitely next, and we definitely need it. All right, there it is. Very strong area of rotation between Blairsville, Locust Corner, and Lindale. Hey, Joey. Glad you're watching. But yeah, very strong area of rotation near the surface, I might add, approaching Mount Pisgah and Lindale in Ohio here. Nicholsville, South Bantam, Hullington, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel. You guys are out ahead of this. It is now an official tornado warning. Radar confirmed a tornado. Radar shows tornado debris in the air. There it is, right there, just to the south of Locust Corner. The radar is picking up on something that's not supposed to be there. So you can see this little area very clearly. That is obvious rotation and obvious debris. So if you are in, we list some names off: Mount Pisgah, Lindale, Wiltsey, Hullington, South Bantam, Nicholsville, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel. You guys are out ahead of a tornado that is already confirmed by radar to be on the ground and is producing damage right now. Otherwise, there may even be an anticyclonic tornado up here to the north and west of Olive Branch. I'm not going to confirm that, but some backwards rotation, if you will, up there. This is definitely the warning to focus on right now. We are still waiting, and a new scan is due any minute now, so we're going to stay on this storm. It is, like I just said, an observed tornado. We don't have chasers on this right this moment. That could change if they start to see that the threat is up here. They will likely make their way up this way. New scan desperately needed here. We're getting towards 3 minutes old on this scan. If anybody, I know this is very out there, but if anyone from the National Weather Service around Cincinnati has control and are listening over this radar tower, we need a different mode here.
so that updates quicker. I know we've got them. We need a different VCP volume coverage pattern for those of you curious. This will be the thing to watch. Hopefully everything's coming through loud and clear on you guys' end. This is the time we need it for sure. Let's see. Yeah, latest scan just came in here. Even stronger rotation approaching the town of Mount Pisgah. If you're in Mount Pisgah, Lindale, Nicholsville, you guys are about to be impacted. The western side of Mount Pisgah is being impacted by a tornado as we speak. Let me look at correlation coefficient. Just updated. It is getting worse. Debris is getting more consistent in the atmosphere around Mount Pisgah and Lindale in Ohio here. So you can't ignore a signal like this. Very obviously a tornado on the ground, producing damage as we speak. Lives are being ruined. I repeat, lives are being ruined. I'm going to make sure everything's going well here. But, yeah, definitely a scary signature on radar. We don't need to be terrified. We need to just be ready. We need to be prepared. We need to be moving if we're out ahead of this. If you're in Nicholsville, South Bantam, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel, any of these cities, if you hear any of these and they sound familiar, go to shelter. If you know where these areas are and you are within 10 miles, shelter now. We need a new scan. This is the most recent. This is about exactly 2 minutes old. So this is still not live information. But, you know, in the next scan, it's going to be probably right over Mount Pisgah. Definitely debris. That is the most obvious debris signature I've seen in a good while. So we need to continue watching. I'm going to zoom out here, make sure there's nothing else that I've missed here. Don't believe there is. No other observed tornado warnings. That gives this one precedence as it needs to be. So, yeah, new scan is definitely needed here as soon as we possibly can get it. Yeah, if you're in Mount Pisgah, Nicholsville, South Bantam, Mount Pisgah, you guys are already being impacted. But if you are in Nicholsville, South Bantam, Hullington, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel, you guys are next to be impacted by this. Hopefully it lifts. Hopefully something changes. As of right now, I don't have any reason to think that. The next scan could show something different, though. Okay, hopefully we see a good trend with this. This is getting old, too. This is, man, it's approaching 3 minutes old as well. They desperately need to put this radar on a different mode. Desperately. All right, there is a new scan. Doesn't look as worrisome. Still definitely, by all means, a strong area of rotation approaching the Nicholsville area. It doesn't look quite as tight, thank goodness. New scan, though. That is a very large area of debris just to the south and east of Mount Pisgah, south of Lindale, west of Nicholsville. If you're in Nicholsville or surrounding areas, you're likely to see debris falling out of the sky in the next few minutes here. All of this is like 2x4s, trees, beds, things that should not be in the atmosphere being picked up by the radar. These will be falling out due to gravity not that long from now in Nicholsville. It is possible we still have a tornado on the ground. The latest velocity scan is not quite as impressive, but just to the south of Mount Pisgah here is a little bit of a couplet around Mount Holly and Wiltsey. There's also a little bit of a couplet as well. So treat this as if there is a strong tornado on the ground heading towards you, which there may well be. We're going to be needing a new scan here as well in the next few minutes. It looks like they're giving velocity the green light here to update as frequently as possible, which is obviously all we really need because reflectivity is cool and all. We really need that velocity. That's the key information here. So hopefully they change this to where we get 1 or 2 minute updates, not 3. Anything better than what we currently have. This is just over 2 minutes old. I really wish you were getting faster updates than this. Yeah, we can see it. Nicholsville, South Bantam, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel. You guys are next. Nicholsville, you're likely already being impacted right now. I can't confirm that because the radar is not updated yet. But I can almost guarantee you that you guys are going to be next here. And to draw an area here, if you are in this circle, you guys are under an immediate threat to life and property. If you are in this circle, you guys got a few minutes, but barely. So if you're not already in shelter, number 1, what are you doing? Number 2, get in shelter now.
This thing could lift. Maybe it already has, but we have no way to confirm that until radar confirms that for us. Large debris fallout, very likely, between Mount Pisgah and Nicholsville. All right, we got a new scan here. Imminently coming in for velocity here. Just be waiting for it. It's just any second we should get this update to come on in for us. And we'll be watching. There it is. So, again, very strong area of rotation approaching Nicholsville. I would not say, looking at this, just based on this, that there's a tornado on the ground. That could not be true, though. Let's look at correlation coefficient. Yeah, this is a downtrend. So we look at this. The previous scan, so it started, scan, downtrend, right? Great. So this does not give you the green light to get out if you're in Nicholsville, of your hiding spot. If you're in Nicholsville, you're being impacted now. Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel, Maple, Feesburg, Hammersville, further on down the road. You guys are going to be next. Treat this with a lot of respect. I would say there's not a tornado on the ground right now. The next scan could show something entirely different. Zooming out here. New tornado warning issued for the storm around Zanesville. We do have a new closest tower. So, yeah, definitely some broad rotation. It's hard to say exactly, but, man, this thing's also producing some pretty large hail. Jump over here, see what else we've got. More tornado warnings being issued for northern New Jersey. A lot of very small storms over here, but definitely some nice rotation approaching the town, or the area of Morristown. So you do have a tornado warning anywhere around Morristown within a 10-mile radius. Get into shelter now. Anywhere approaching the Clifton area, also in New Jersey, you guys are under a tornado warning. There's 4 tornado warnings up here. Only one of them really looks to be an imminent threat, though. Is this one approaching the town of Morristown here? Doesn't appear there's any debris. Could change. We'll try to keep an eye on both of these. It's going to be hard to jump back and forth frequently, but we'll do our best. What do we have here? This is still the latest that we've got. It was the 2:58:55 scan. Almost 3 minutes old as well. It's a shame, but it is what it is. We'll get the new update here in just a moment. I'm going to leave this on the auto update feature, so it should just bring it in for us on its own. Just woke up to this. Glad you could join us. Streaming for 47 minutes. Stuff's finally getting going here. Starting to pick up a little bit. Do desperately need an update here. Looks like we're going in 2 to 3 minute intervals. That's not good. We really need faster intervals, more narrow time slot or time window than just 3 minutes. We need 1.5, 2 minutes or less. If we can get that information to the people running the tower, that'd be awesome. But that is what it is. Here we go. Latest scan. This is about a minute old. Definitely some very strong rotation around Nicholsville. So if you're anywhere out ahead of this, Saltaire, Wigginsville, Bethel, Maple, Mount Olive, Point Isabel, you guys are right out in front of this. You don't have time, realistically. You have a very small amount of time to get into shelter if you're not already. If you're not in shelter already, you need to be there now, as fast as possible. And you might be calm before the storm. You may be thinking, there's nothing to worry about. There's still a debris signature around Nicholsville, although it is not nearly as impressive as it once was. Please treat this with respect. I'm going to leave us on velocity here and just wait for an update. While we're waiting for an update, there's nothing else we can do. New tornado warning for Sanders, Easter Day, Vevey, Sparta, New Liberty, Wheatley, Bromley, Poplar Grove. This is in the state of Kentucky, just over the border here. Hard to say exactly what's going on here, but definitely a nice-looking supercell on the line here. Strong rotation around Vevey and Ghent right now. So we'll try to keep an eye on this as well. New tornado warning was just issued for the storm for the same storm out ahead of this. So a lot of your alarms probably just went off if you're in Feesburg, Georgetown, East Wallsburg, Hammersville, White Oak Valley, Center Point, surrounding areas and cities. You guys are going to be next up for this. But we do still have an observed tornado warning. We'll see if they downgrade this, but honestly, I wouldn't if this were me. I'm going to jump around here. Still got several tornado warnings up here. Let's check on the Morristown storm. Definitely some strong rotation. Let's see if we got debris. Does not appear. That could change very quickly. So if you're in Morristown, Birch Hills, Lone Taka Estates, I believe I'm saying that right, Glen Alpin, New Vernon even, and definitely the town of Morristown, higher populated. You guys are about to be under some rotation if you're not already. A lot of tornado warnings up here. A lot of these storms are quite small, though. Doesn't mean they're not capable, just means they're small. Let's jump around here. They did downgrade this warning to just a standard radar indicated threat. Just a new scan is just coming in now. We're waiting for velocity to come in. So I'm going to zoom in here, let it sit for a second. Yeah, we definitely need the updated scan. Here it is. So rotation is looking broad but strong. So this thing could cycle and do it again. We already know it produced a tornado. The debris is still barely here. You can see it to the north of Saltaire with some different colors showing up. But for the most part, we're okay. I don't think there's a tornado on the ground right now. That there was a tornado warning just issued for good reason out ahead of this. And for the tornado warning down here for Vevey, Ghent, surrounding areas, definitely some strong yet broad rotation in this area as well. This scan is getting older. So this is now, let's see, about 2.5 minutes old, this scan is. So we'll be waiting for an update on that. Since we no longer have an observed tornado warning, as far as I'm aware, I'm going to check on some of the other stuff we've got. This storm's getting closer to a tower, also starting to clear out a notch, which means it is starting to strengthen more than likely. Definitely an area of strong rotation. There's another one. Man, for the town of Zanesville, new tornado warning issued. We still don't have great radar coverage of this area, but if you're in Zanesville or in a, let's see. Let's do it like this. If you're in a 5 to 10 mile radius of the area, get into shelter now. If you're not already. Some of you guys are probably just under that tornado warning. We're in shelter. You're coming out, and here's another one. Tis the nature of today. Currently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tornado warnings active right now, unless I just can't count. Broad rotation on the storm around Liberty, New York. I think I'm not too worried about that one. Let's check on the Morristown storm again. Broad rotation, moving over the town right now. Let's see if we got any debris. I would not say so. That does not mean that we don't have a threat. New scan just coming in. Let's wait for velocity to update. None of these are observed, but that could change quickly, as we know. We were just experiencing that with one of the other storms back in Indiana, Ohio. Here it is. Definitely broad rotation going over Morristown right now. You can see where these reds meet the greens. Don't see debris though. Doesn't mean there's not a threat. Doesn't mean there's nothing to worry about. But I don't see an indication that thing is about to do something. A lot of tornado warnings. Here's a new one, just issued for areas just to the let's see. Yeah, just to the east of Wilmington, Ohio. Here, we are very, very close to the radar tower. But there is a very clear area of rotation approaching Lee's Creek, going over Reagan Road and Henry Road right now. So if you're in Lee's Creek, Memphis, you guys are possibly going to be impacted by a tornado. I don't see debris showing up. We're also extremely close. I mean, the storm is actually inside the radar tower right now. So that's something to consider with this. But we'll keep an eye on that. Let's jump back down here to this one. For Wigginsville, you guys are out ahead of this still. Broad rotation, yet strong. Let's check on the Vevey, Ghent, Storm, Sanders, whatever city you want to name it this. This is still really old. This is like 5-minute old information. Holy. Can we get... Is something wrong here? Is the radar tower down? Shouldn't be. There it is. Definitely some broad rotation approaching Sanders. Sparta, although I wouldn't say there's an imminent threat yet. We'll keep watching. We got to hop around here. The Zanesville storm Is the Cleveland Tower down? There's no way. Hold on now. This is going to be annoying to see on your screen. It doesn't say that the Cleveland Tower's down. Oh, that's a big shame. All right. Looks like the Cleveland Tower has gone down. Great. We have even worse coverage of this storm now. If that is true, I'm going to do some testing here with some other programs, make sure that this is not just random. It's stuck on a scan from 4 minutes ago on my phone here. I mean, yeah, it's not loading anything. So that's either just a random glitch or we genuinely don't have the Cleveland Tower anymore. But for Zanesville, it's the closest one that we've got. Broad rotation, hard to tell. The storm approaching Caldwell, also in Ohio. Looking very massive and just like nasty on radar, but definitely some strong rotation in there. No observed warnings, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, no observed warnings right now. Check on the Morristown storm again. Rotation is now moving to the eastern areas of the town. If you're in Birch Hills, Florin Park, Hanover Township, you guys are next in line here. Still don't see any debris, though. So this is likely just a really strong low-level circulation. Please treat it as if it was a tornado, but I'm being honest with you. I don't see an imminent tornado from this yet. Check on the Wilmington storm again. Yeah, area of rotation approaching Lee's Creek and Memphis. It's a very, either way, we got some 80, 90 mile per hour winds approaching Memphis. So if this is not a tornado, it may feel like one. Just from the speed of the wind. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do something real quick. It's gonna be annoying. I'm just gonna restart the I'm gonna restart the program. Just a little hiccup. Here we go. Okay. As warnings load on in here, I'm gonna see if the Cleveland Tower's down. My phone was not having any issue with the Cleveland Tower. It still is. Okay. Either way, hopefully it's not an issue for later. It already kind of is. Zanesville storm, broad rotation. Caldwell storm, definitely some broad, strong rotation on this one. The storm around Sanders, this is technically over the border. This is in Kentucky now. Looks very large. I think this thing has a lot of potential for tornado production, but it's not imminent. I think we're going to have to wait a little while. The storm we were focusing on a lot earlier still looks kind of broad, although I would argue there could be a tornado down just to the east of Wigginsville, south and east. So if you're in Maple, Feesburg, Hammersville, Yankeetown, you guys are next. Let's see if we got debris anymore. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to hold on. That could be a glitch, or that could, this little area to the north of Mount Olive here, right where the middle like cross area is, that could be some debris, I should say, although it's kind of misplaced. So I don't entirely buy that. So on the Wilmington storm, very strong wind. I think this tornado's down. If I had to say for sure, I think there could be a few little areas, one right near Memphis and one just to the south and west of Lee's Creek. I know you don't see any high contrast colors here, but these really bright colors are like 70 mile per hour winds, and then right next to that is like 4. So there's a 70-ish mile per hour difference between these two pixels. That would lead me to believe there's some rotation. Still don't see any debris in the air, though. So they're either very weak or they just have not been on the ground long enough. Or maybe they're not on the ground at all. I just have a feeling. The rest of these storms we can handle. Let's check on the Morristown storm again. It's definitely looking impressive. Oh, boy, yeah. I think it's hard to say, but I think if you're in Birch Hills, Hanover Township, let's put this in motion so we can kind of see. Yeah, Hanover Township, East Hanover Town Village, Hanover Neck. You guys are going to be in line for this. I still don't see debris, but I see a very large, very prominent hook. I see strong velocities indicating rotation. So if you're in and around Morristown within a 10-mile radius, please be sheltered. None of these are currently observed tornado warnings. We know how fast that can change. Storm approaching Hammersville. This is a very large storm. Let's check on the, yeah. I don't think there's a tornado down. I think there could have been some of these scans. Anywhere along in here, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to list off some names. Yankeetown, Maple, Feesburg, Hammersville, White Oak Valley, Wallsburg, and Georgetown. And then eventually further on down the road, other cities. There's a very large area of a lot of turbulence along the front edge of this cloud. And because of that, we could get some brief spin-ups out of most anything. So I'm not saying you got to freak out, but just consider the fact that we may not spot it on radar first. You may see or hear it first. This is a very, very big storm between Sanders and Glencoe in Virginia. Not Virginia, Kentucky. I get Virginia and Kentucky mixed up all the time. I don't know why. But, yeah, some strong rotation just to the north and west of Sparta. The rest of these storms don't look too tornadic. It just looks like some strong storms. You have a tornado possible tag on the storm just to the east of Louisville, but the rotation looks broad and weak. Let's see, how old is this? 2 minutes, roughly? Yeah. Strong rotation around Maple, Hammersville, Feesburg. You guys are next up. And I'm going to wait on the next scan here to look at the Memphis area. Georgetown, Buena Vista, New Martinsburg as well. Pull this up. Is New York City cooked? There's a lot of storms around there. I'm going to check on it in a second. My question is, why on earth did you wake up this late? If you're saying you just woke up to this, that means you just woke up, obviously. But it's freaking late. It's like 3 o'clock when you woke up. What are you doing? Here's the latest scan. Hard to say. There's definitely some areas of rotation in here, some strong winds. So if you're in New Martinsburg, Buena Vista, East Monroe, Georgetown, you guys are kind of out ahead of this. This is in Ohio, by the way. Still no observed warnings, tornado warnings, that is. We got to be watching this cluster of storms moving out of southern Indiana into Kentucky. I think you guys down here in Kentucky could be in for a wild ride over the next little bit here. Several tornado warnings. I'm just going to leave it on this view for one moment. Check in on logistics. Make sure we don't have any drop frames. It appears there had been some at some point, so there could be possibly some lag. I took a nap. Okay, that would explain. But yeah, if you're just tuning in now, consider liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. We've been live for just over an hour now, and things have just recently started to really get going here in Kentucky and, Virginia, but Kentucky and Ohio. Looks like the tornado warning for Bristol and surrounding areas in Ohio is going to be allowed to expire. No storm is in that area. The Caldwell storm still rotating. I don't see any crazy signatures. Maybe a little bit of debris, actually. Hold on. Yeah, some broad rotation just to the west of Caldwell in Ohio here, and it's very hard to tell. There could be a bit of debris in the air. It's hard to say. The Zanesville storm is still radar indicated, and the rotation almost is non-existent on this at this moment. That could change. Let's check on the Morristown area. Some higher populated areas could be impacted over the next few minutes by this. Strong rotation near Florham Park, Hanover Township, Birch Hills, Cooks Bridge. I mean, large populated area. These are going to be moving off to the east, as you can see here. So a broad tornado warning was issued, probably precautionary. I'm not overly worried right this moment about an imminent tornado on the ground, but between Morristown and New York City, large cluster of storms. So watch out for this. It'd be awesome. I'm not going to see these. I don't have social media plugged into this right now to really integrate it. But, if you're in New York City and you're in a tall building and you can look off to your west and see this, if you can see a tornado on the ground, start sharing that picture. See, Manhattan is cooked. I don't know about that. We'll see. Hopefully not. I don't think we need to say that quite yet. Let's see what else we have here. Man, the area of rotation on the storm that we were first tracking 10 minutes ago is still very strong. It's just not tight yet. It's broad. But Feesburg, Hammersville, White Oak Valley, Georgetown, Wallsburg, you guys are going to be next up. Did we just get an update for this? Yes. This is less than a minute old. Yeah, between Maple and Hammersville, definitely rotation. I would not say there's an imminent threat of a tornado down right now. Same goes for most of these storms, although this is starting to get going here. If you're in Sparta, off to your west, it appears there could be a tornado on the ground, at least based purely on some of these tools that I'm looking at here. So Poplar Grove, Bromley, you guys are out ahead of this. Jonesville as well. Definitely a strong area of rotation. And still no areas of observed tornado warnings yet. New tornado warning issued for areas like Caldwell, Dexter City, Sycamore Valley, and Stafford in Ohio. Rotation looks very broad. Hard to say if there's anything definitive. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Let's check in. I do want to give some attention to the New York City area just due to the population. Storm around Morristown, between Morristown and Livingston in New Jersey here. Definitely an area of rotation, although it appears broad. So I'm going to try to keep checking in on you guys as often as I can. We're also going to be watching. I mean, we have a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning for the storm just to the east of Louisville here in Kentucky. There's some broad rotation, as most of these storms have, but that could get a tornado warning as well soon. The rotation that we just saw that was very strong around Sparta seems to have weakened on the latest scan, could come right back. Still definitely a valid risk of a tornado between Sparta, Long Ridge, Bromley, Poplar Grove, Jonesville, all of these areas, Glencoe. Something to watch for. And then up here, the storm we were watching initially, strong area of rotation. How old is this? 1 minute, 2 minutes? Between Hammersville and Feesburg. Definitely strong area of rotation, but it does not appear that there's a tornado on the ground right now. But Georgetown, East Wallsburg, Center Point, even Russellville later, you guys need to be watching out for this. We're probably going to get a new tornado warning issued. Very clear rotation here to the south of Hammersville, just not very tight. Excuse me. I'm going to leave you guys on this view and make sure that we haven't done anything too crazy here. Live now for 1 minute or 1 hour and 8 minutes, not a minute, 8 seconds. Fox Weather has a shot of the storm. Cool. I'm not going to show it to you guys. I don't think that's legal. I'm going to look it up, though. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to Google it. That's the thing. I mean, if you're just talking about straight up Fox weather, let's see what we've got here. See, they were talking about the tropics. Severe weather threat. Sorry for being distracted, guys. I'm trying to see if there's, if Manhattan, or if they've got some sort of shot of this storm. So they are talking about the tornadoes now. It's hard to say. We'll see. I would say looking at this right now, there's nothing too crazy. A lot of our warnings are just radar indicated. That also can change relatively quickly. I mean, still between Hammersville, Feesburg, seems like the storm's been here for forever. I'm sure you guys can attest to that. But still broad areas of rotation. A lot of heavy rain in the very least. And then for, Georgetown, Buena Vista, New Martinsburg, don't really see much rotation. They're probably going to let that tornado warning expire. Let's check on these storms up here further into Ohio. Still look pretty disorganized. Yeah, this is the closest tower that we have, the Pittsburgh Tower. This is still showing that we have no Cleveland Tower. I don't buy that. It's very weird. Let's zoom out. New York City area. I don't know. I don't really see much in here. There's still an area of definitely some rotation between Hanover Township, East Hanover, Cooks Bridge, in this general area, but I don't know. It doesn't really look like there's much going on right here. This could change. And of course, if this were to change in this area, it's so highly populated, it'd be very high impact. But just something to watch. Things further to the south, looking clear. Most of the skies in North Carolina look pretty clear right now, or the radar at least. Yeah, not a whole lot. Here's just a little bit of a look at this tropical system here. And change this to anything more than a 12-minute loop. I mean, you can see a very clear spin to this off the shore here. But it is what it is. Change this back. I don't need a 40-minute loop. There we go. 20 minutes is fine. If you hear a rumbling noise, my garage door's opening. There we go. Recent update from the radar. Still just a lot of broad rotation. As has been the case for these storms pretty consistently. Definitely some very strong broad rotation approaching the Georgetown area. In, what state am I in again? Ohio. Barely over the border. I got to remember that. But in Ohio here. I don't see debris. Just got an update. Let's check on velocities when they update here. There's an outside chance you could hear my dog barking. She's downstairs. My mom just got home. But if you're just tuning in now, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate those things. And we'll see how much longer we really go with this. Man, the Wi-Fi just cut out hard. You guys can probably attest to that. Good Lord have mercy. Oh, man. Hold on now. If any of you guys are still hearing me, I'm shocked. My Wi-Fi crashed hard. Okay, man, it's struggling. Just gonna give it a minute here. While that is happening, take a look at things. New tornado warning issued for the Georgetown area, points east in Ohio here, right along the border. Definitely some strong rotation in here. All right, looks like we're back. Goodness gracious. That's terrible. There we go. That should be better. I'm sorry, guys. Looks like the Wi-Fi crashed hard. I was going to say quashed. Goodness gracious. I'm losing my mind. I am more than open for any of you watching. Between elements here, between anything going too wild. If you guys ever have any questions about what we're looking at or what softwares or anything like that, feel free to ask. I'd be more than willing to answer. And also, if you are watching, you haven't liked the stream, make sure to consider doing that. It really just more than anything helps the stream get out to more people. New scan is going to be due here any minute. So we're going to be watching for it. What is the best weather app? Is WeatherWise good? WeatherWise is good. I enjoyed using WeatherWise while I had it. It depends on what phone you have as well, or what device. If you have an iPhone, I can only recommend WeatherWise. WeatherWise is awesome. No, it sucks. WeatherWise doesn't suck entirely. WeatherWise could use some work. I think WeatherWise has a lot of potential. WeatherWise is not that bad for the average person. I would say if you do have an iPhone, Weatherfront is awesome. I use Weatherfront for video making, not streaming. If we're thinking about computer stuff, WeatherWise is great. Weatherfront's okay. Or sorry, reverse that. Weatherfront is awesome. WeatherWise is okay. Aguacero weather is okay. I say it's okay because it's very dependent on having a good device. I can barely attest to that because this device I'm currently using is not great. But if you have a decent laptop or just PC in general, Aguacero is awesome. But yeah, for phones, Weatherfront on iOS. If you have Android, they're going to be releasing to Android very soon. But for just a definitive, I'd probably have to say WeatherWise for Android right now. It is definitely a very good application for sure. It's just it could use some overall work. That's the way I would put it. Yeah, make sure to, if you got any other questions or opinions, thoughts you want to share, put those in the comment section. I'll be reading them. If you're in Georgetown, Red Oak, Center Point, Russellville, this area of rotation is very deceiving. Like, it looks strong. You see some bright colors up next to each other, but they seem also, when you really get into it, they seem far apart. Like there's not really a border here. Now, this is a border. This is what it looks like when pixels border each other. You have a bright blue and a bright red bordering. That could be a tornado. We will watch to see if there's any consistency. I don't want to sit here screaming there's a tornado. Definitely does appear there's a little bit of a surge in the outflow. So just to the south of East Wallsburg, just to the north and east of Georgetown, there could well be a tornado down right now. I'm going to leave you guys on velocity here. How to spell what? That is spelled THAT. If you were literally asking. I know you're not asking that. But yeah, just let me know what you're talking about. New scan is due here any minute, any second, I should say. This is now, let's see. Is officially a 2-minute old scan right now. So it's a 2 minutes old. Not great for an active tornado, possibly on the ground here, but we'll see. Gonna be watching here. Aguacero. Oh, I'll put it in the chat. That's how you spell it. I think it's the Spanish word for downpour, and it just translated it. Wow. Use what? If you use Aguacero? Yeah, I love Aguacero. Aguacero is absolutely incredible. It's a little bit finicky sometimes. It's not bad. When I say finicky, I mean more than anything that it's like sometimes loading products in takes a while. Like, you have to go back and forth through the frames a little bit before that happens. But either way, it's not bad. New scan just came in. I would say, based on this, there's at least a surge of very strong winds here, just to the west of Russellville. Here doesn't appear there's a town, but South High Street, Camp Run Road, among other areas right here, there could be an imminent tornado. Still no debris showing up. It may take a few scans if there is one on the ground, but I'm very not confident. I'm very intrigued. Let's check on these storms around New York as well. I don't want to ignore you guys completely. As the radar comes loading on in here. Yeah, this area of rotation has gotten a lot more broad. Still have multiple tornado warnings up here. Oh boy, not responsive. There we go. For central Ohio, southern Ohio, southeastern Ohio, wherever we are. Lose track of where I'm at. Definitely a strong area of rotation around Elk, Ohio here. Bound to weak ecoregion. I don't know if you guys see this just to the south and east of Middleburg. There's like some slightly lesser values here, co-located with a strong area of rotation. That's where the updraft is. So it's not that that's the eye of a tornado, but that is where essentially the updraft is so strong it's lofting the rain higher than the beam is scanning. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? I like the radar sweep for free. I did not know that was a free feature. I had no idea. I would have assumed that was. I pay for the professional, so I won't lie to you. I guess you could say I'm biased because I pay for it, but I thought that was a feature that you only could use if you had that. I like it for the amount of customization you can do to it. That's one of the things that just sells me is the fact that I can, if I don't like the way something looks, I can just change it. It's pretty incredible capability you have. But the radar sweep is definitely just a cool feature to have. This scan here is just under a minute old, just over, sorry. So I still think there's some broad rotation here. Don't see a debris signature yet, but that could also change. Very messy looking storm. New tornado warning issued for Dry Ridge, Williamstown, surrounding areas in Kentucky here. We should be in Kentucky, right? Yes. Gosh, I do keep forgetting where I'm at. Definitely a strong area of rotation to the south of Jonesville, kind of coming together here on the latest scan. We'll see if it continues over the next few. Hopefully we don't have Wi-Fi issues. Dang it, we're having Wi-Fi issues again. What is my forecast for Buffalo, New York today? Hold on. I'm going to make sure that my Wi-Fi is working here. It's trying to. Hold on now. Wi-Fi is struggling hard. I don't know if someone's using Wi-Fi in the house or using something that takes a lot of it. Jeez, it's struggling. I really need to try to get an extension. I'm just going to go for it. Right now, Buffalo, New York. Let's see the radar from this area. Right now, some storms moving in off the lakes here. These could be severe storms. So if you're in the town of Buffalo right now, it's probably not raining. That could change quickly. In southeastern Ontario, we have some storms going to be moving over the lakes. As these move in, you do have a slight risk of a 2 out of 5 for severe weather, and even a flash flood warning for the northern areas of the city. So we'll keep an eye on you guys. Observe tornado. This secondary warning that they issued down here, they decided to go with an observed warning for it. I don't want to be. I want to be careful about talking if you guys can't hear me because the Wi-Fi is missing. Hold on one second. Okay. It appears we're back. I'm just going to assume we're back. Yeah, observed tornado now, a warning that is, for Lawrenceville, Heacon, Stewartsville, Williamstown, Dry Ridge, surrounding areas. I'll be honest, the rotation on the last few scans hasn't looked the most impressive. So I'm guessing I'm going to see. Radar confirmed tornado. Radar shows debris in the air. Does it now? It does. New scan's about to come in here for correlation coefficient, but for areas just to the west of Holbrook, this little area of yellow is debris that's being lofted into the air that the radar beam scanned over and said
That doesn't look right. Something's a little off here. It didn't crash my computer. I'm assuming you're talking about Aguacero. Aguacero, sometimes, fine. Other times, an absolute resource hog. That's the only thing. It appears that we are no longer having significant Wi-Fi issues. That's very bizarre. Don't know what's going on there for a minute. Okay. Now, back over to this. Have we still not gotten the updated scan here? There we go. That's honestly not even as impressive. I know that's an observed tornado warning. I'm a little skeptical about this. We should treat it with respect. Don't get me wrong. But there just doesn't, using the closest tower, I mean, there's definitely an area of rotation to the north and west of Holbrook, but I've seen better, and the debris signature looks very inconsistent, kind of weak. It's there. We'll keep an eye on it. Going over Russellville and Center Point right now, broad area of a lot of rotation. If you're out ahead of this, Red Oak, Decatur, Neal, Clayton, surrounding areas, you guys are under tornado warning as well. They're probably going to let the one behind this expire for Georgetown here shortly. But technically, the one we need to focus on is this one around Dry Ridge. So I'm going to focus in on this, hit the auto update button, hope for the best. Weatherfront is smooth. Weatherfront is very smooth. I love Weatherfront. Are you using it on a phone, computer, both? I use it on both. I have it on my phone. I use it to replace radar scope. What is the best weather overlays for my YouTube channel? Depends on, if you're talking about streaming, if you're talking about alerts overlays, Redbird, I believe is his name, has one. I should have it pinned. Hold on now. I'm going to see if I can find it. This should be it. I'm going to put it in chat. That link takes you to a one that I use. You use it on PC. Yeah, Weatherfront on PC is awesome. I love it. I use it for a lot of stuff. That link is that'll take you to one of those streamers. I don't use it, as you can see, obviously. The computer I'm using for this is a good computer. It's borderline really good for some things. It's a laptop. But trying to stream with decent webcam quality, streaming in 1080p, and then adding the stream overlays that I want to animate, it's just a lot. So I choose not to use them, but I like that one. It's pretty easy to customize and change which warnings you can see and all that good stuff. Yeah, not a whole lot going on out there on the tornado front other than what we're looking at, which is significant. Strong area of rotation approaching the town of Klein in Brownsville in Ohio here. Almost over the border into West Virginia, I will add. We do still have an observed tornado warning down here for multiple areas. Holbrook, Lawrenceville, Heacon, Cherry Grove, Mason. But the rotation on this just looks very disorganized, not too put together. Doesn't mean it can't change, though. Do you know what radar program Ryan Hall uses? For his streaming, he's a big WeatherWise guy. His streams, I think, are sponsored by WeatherWise often. He's been with them for a while. As far as I know, though, using WeatherWise, he has some things. He has like developer features and access to things, so he can change things that I don't think everybody can. I don't know what happens if you pay more for it, though. I don't know if you were to. I used to pay for I used to pay a monthly thing. I don't know what the tiers. I don't know how they're layered.
I'm gonna Google it real quick. I mean, I don't hate weather-wise. It's just to me. Oh, they got hurricane hunter observations now. I mean, there's things that they have that can draw you in for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, I did the pro. That's what I did. Or weatherwise plus. That's the subscription I used. I didn't hate it. I just found when Weatherfront came out, I canceled pretty much everything except for Aguacero. In fact, I went the other way with Aguacero and paid more for it because I wanted some of the other features. The only thing about Aguacero, I don't love how expensive the creator subscription package is. It's like $300 a year or something like that. Part of me thinks, well, in a whole year, surely I can come up with $300 to spend on that. But I just that's a lot. I don't want to do that. I'm already paying $100 a year for Weatherfront, and I'm not going to change that unless something way better comes out. I don't know. I feel much more skeptical about paying $300 a year. I currently pay $360 a year for Aguacero, or not 360, 160. Goodness. I pay $160 a year for the professional tier for it, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy the customization. I enjoy the layering. I enjoy that stuff, but I don't know. But Weatherfront, the only thing about Weatherfront is the fact that I'm pretty sure they're going to be releasing their quote unquote broadcast features to the public soon, and there's probably going to be another tier to that subscription. Looking in at this tornado warning again, definitely some rotation here. Just to the north and now east of Holbrook. Maybe a little bit of debris in the air. I don't. They still have this set that radar confirmed tornado. Radar shows tornado debris in the air. It did for like a scan, but not really anymore. This, though, looks like it could be one. Hold on. Don't see any debris, but that looks like a nice little area of rotation. We'll see. What else do we have going on out here? Tornado warnings have been dropped for the New York City area. Just a lot of rain. I think what I'm going to do here, just considering everything, is take the stream till 4 and then see what's going on out there. Do I have a personal weather station? I do. It's an Accurite Iris 5-in-1. Those things are now like somewhat outdated technology. It's crazy too, but that's what I've got. I love them for how simple they are and how easy they are to set up. And I recently got one of the screens that lets you like see it from your phone so you can be somewhere remote. But I don't know. I'm very tempted. I have wanted to get like a Davis Vantage Pro, but those are like freaking $1,000. Like I just don't want to, especially because like the information I'm getting from that Accurite Iris is good info. Like it's solid. It's just the wind information is not good because it only samples every 20 seconds. So like in a thunderstorm, if I'm away from home and a thunderstorm impacts our house and I want to look at my phone and see how strong the wind gusts were, it likely won't pick them up. So that's the only thing to consider. But like temperature and humidity, it's within a few degrees of accuracy. Like it's great. I love it. It's also like cheap. It's like maybe $115, $120 to buy one of those new. Let me Google that. But yeah, they're good. Which one do you have? They have gone up as I somewhat expected. $135 to $170 now. Man, it's a shame. Not shocking, though. Not even a little bit. Yeah, like I said a second ago, I think what I'm going to do here is take the stream for another almost exactly 10 minutes. Check up on everything. If we get a significant tornado spike, then I'll stay. If not, I might cut stream. We've been live for hour 35 now. Weather Underground. I don't know if you're saying that's what you use. I don't know if Weather Underground makes weather stations. They've got the really nice weather station network though. That's really cool. I've used those before to like see what other temperatures are on the area. Those are cool. As far as I say this, I don't have the app on my phone. I don't think. I do not. But what I was gonna say is, I had my weather station set to broadcast to Weather Underground, so it was part of the network, and I eventually I think stopped that. But it was cool. Are you using a Weather Underground weather station, or are you just using the network? Checking in on the situation out here. Kentucky, north central Kentucky, we got some nasty storms up here. Still an observed tornado warning, but the rotation on this thing just continues to look pretty broad. So I'm not overly concerned about it, even though it is an observed warning. Again, that's why I'm doing this, guys. That's why I'm streaming. I'm not saying that the National Weather Service can't do their job, but that's why I'm streaming. Give you guys my opinion on these storms as well as what the radar shows and all that. This is still a very impressive looking area of rotation. It's been this way for a while. Just to the south of Ekmansville, north of Panhandle. That's one of the things I love about streaming, guys, is just seeing the town names I've never even heard of before. Let's look at what else we've got. No debris. So kind of counteracts the thought there could be something there. Look at the Hurricane Hunter reports. It's tough. I don't know where I pulled that up. Hold on now. I'm going to pull up Tropical Tidbits. Yeah, for those of you wondering, assuming that I do in stream and not that long, I've got to upload the video I filmed earlier. But Bertha is doing some stuff out here. So minimum central pressure of the storm is 995. Maximum winds 50 knots. I don't know what that conversion is to miles per hour. I won't lie to you, but it's up there. There still are some model runs that take this up to near hurricane intensity. Interesting. Let me look at aircraft reconnaissance. Yeah, 995 millibars. By the way, huge shout out to Tropical Tidbits. If you guys aren't using Tropical Tidbits to just track stuff, what are you doing? Tropical Tidbits is freaking awesome. New tornado warning issued for the town of Barry and among a lot of others, Rutland, Connorsville, Breckenridge, Garnet in Kentucky for just the rest of this storm as it moves this way. I don't know what they're seeing. I won't lie to you. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if my radar program's crashing out or something. Like, I just straight up do not see what they see. Still a strong area of rotation between Ekmansville and Panhandle, Ohio here, approaching West Union. Is this right? Yeah, this is literally paralleling the border here. Yeah, something to watch. If you're just tuning in now, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing. Share it, comment, things like that. Let me know where you're watching from. Helps me tailor these things. Of course, streams are a little bit of a different story. They can reach a lot more people. Some of them do, some of them don't. This one currently, drum roll please, there are 3 of you watching as of the time I'm speaking, has 31 views. One of the least productive streams I've done in a while, but it is what happens. Especially when the big names start doing their streaming. But that is what it is. No one's surprised by that. What else do we have going on here? Yeah, I'm going to promise you guys 5 minutes. And then I'm going to check on things. I'm not assuming anything's going to be that crazy different. I'll cover any observed warnings that we've got, but then I'm probably going to hop off here. That put us at about an hour and 45 minutes of coverage here. There's probably going to be plenty of storm left. But turn this light on. There we go. To cover over, the next few hours. But I think I'm going to leave that to the big names. I got some other things I need to do. But it's definitely been fun. Hop on here with you guys, chat for a little while, talk about random stuff. If you do have any other questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll look at them. Let's see. Let's see if we have any debris. Well, around. Hold on, let's wait for the rest of this to update. I'm gonna look at. So there's a velocity update. Just to the south of Mason here. This could be some debris. This is in Kentucky, by the way. You can see that there. I don't know exactly if that's what that is. And it seems to have disappeared though, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean these storms are being stubborn. They keep going back and forth. And what? A PDS tornado warning was just issued. All right, we ain't going anywhere for a few minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is my fault for not covering this or not seeing this, I should say. This is right along the Ohio-West Virginia border. PDS tornado warning, particularly dangerous situation. That's what that means. Radar indicated rotation. So they haven't seen this with their eyeballs. That doesn't matter. I shockingly don't see debris. I think this thing is. I'm guessing this thing has. Oh yeah, it's uptrended a lot in the last few scans. Okay, if you are in Brownsville, Wanneker, Wittens, in Ohio, or down in Pursley, Luzon, Kidwell, surrounding areas in West Virginia, a large damaging tornado is on the ground headed towards you. We need a new scan, desperately. This is now getting towards 2 minutes old. Yeah, where did that come from? Yeah, I don't know. Also, 'tis the nature of today. Definitely a volatile environment, but it seems to be very conditional. What have we been going in here? About 2.5 minute update intervals. Dang it. I would really, really, really love if we could get an update. I mean, there was already a little indication here between Reinhard Mills and Brownsville. Very subtle, but there was already a little bit of a sign of debris there. We really, really need an update on this. Shocking. What else do we have? Are any of these other ones observed? Not that they should be. Yeah, this is going to be the topic of interest. I think we're going to cover this as long as it remains an active threat, and once this ends, unless there's something else, round the stream off here. Goodness gracious, this is getting towards 3 minutes old, chat. we got to get something. Throw me a bone here. Give me some sort of update. 80 to 50 wins is crazy. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Okay, the velocity or the reflectivity scan just came in. Velocity should be any second. Yeah, we got a pixel at 87. We got a pixel at 50. So 90 to 50. A lot of gate-to-gate shear. Please update. I beg of you. There we go. Of course, this scan has kind of got some interference in it, but yeah. But right over Brownsville, Wanneker is where we've got this tornado on the ground right now. I'm assuming it's on the ground. Get a debris tracker date. Sorry, I don't know what I was trying to say. Correlation coefficient. Come on. There it is. Oh, yeah. There's the debris in the sky around Brownsville. So, definitely an observed threat. I'm just going to leave it on velocity. Hopefully they update this more often. We've been talking about that for a little while now with these. A new PDS warning. Gosh. Okay. It's good. It's smart. It's just good. This is this takes us out. It's a PDS tornado warning, particularly dangerous situation. This gets us into West Virginia now. So it's pretty much just a rectangle. It's just border, obviously. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this centered, leave it on auto update. The heck happened? Did they just drop both of those? What? Hold on now. Am I missing something? Am I in the right state? There we go. I just hit one button. I was about to actually lose my mind. There we go. I just hit a button. Okay. This is about a 3-minute-old scan. So hopefully they do update this relatively recently from now. We just need an update to our scans here. We have 2 PDS tornado warnings at the same time for this tornado is going over Brownsville, Ohio right now. Areas of impact in a few minutes here. Right along the river. Flies. Is this a Sistersville? Wow. Wittens, Pursley, Adonis, Luzon, Kidwell, Middleburn, Sandusky. You guys are next up. Please update. We need an update. This is getting... There we go, right? Yes. That is a strong tornado. Although the debris is really not showing up all that well. I still don't have much of a reason to think that this thing's not on the ground. I mean, there's a very tight velocity couplet just to the south of Wanneker here. If you're in the town of Wanneker, number one, if you're not in shelter, what are you doing? Number two, get to shelter. Number three, if there isn't a tornado, it is probably extremely windy from the area around the tornado. Zoom out here just a bit. Yeah, we're all right. This is the main thing to focus on. We have apparently been lagging just a little bit. But if you're just tuning in now, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, boy. I can definitely tell my voice getting tired. I feel like I have to clear my throat more and more often. Continue watching for updates. The debris signature is barely there. I don't buy that. I think in the next few scans, if this thing was on the ground, unless it just managed to not destroy a single tree or hit a single home, we're going to see something in the air here from the radar. Should be waiting. This scan is now officially 3 minutes old. So, oh, excuse me. That is a little bit outdated, obviously. We'd much rather have a fresh scan, but it's coming. Very, very prominent hook. Goodness. There we go. There's the reflectivity scan. So velocity is going to be next. I'm just going back and forth here to make sure that it actually updates. Come on. We need you more than ever. Got to update here. I got to trim this off. Come on, velocity. Good Lord have mercy. Nothing but reflectivity is updated. That's ridiculous. Goodness gracious. Come on. There we go. Yeah, definitely a strong area of in and outbound pixels going over the town of Fly and Sistersville right now. Wittens, you guys are right on the fringes of this. Pursley, Luzon, Kidwell, you guys are right out ahead of this. You have no time. Please get to shelter now. Sandusky, Pollard, Middlebourne, you also are in a possible path for this. The correlation coefficient is still, or the debris tracker is still barely showing anything, and I just the strength of the velocities on this would lead me to believe there's a tornado down. They can technically go up one more category, and that would be a tornado emergency. I don't assume they're going to do that. It's very possible. They're probably not. I would say they're likely not to do that if it continues to look like this and we don't get a consistent sign from the debris. But it is what it is. I'm going to mute real quick, stand up, stretch my legs, and I'll be right back. Unmuted. This scan is about to be 3 minutes old in about 10 seconds. What a hook. Goodness gracious. We'll probably just take this out until we get to 2 hours of stream. We've been live for an hour and 51 minutes. So in the very least about 10 more minutes, and we'll see where the look is here. We are definitely needing more frequent scans. I'm going to see if this is just ran. If my phone's updating already, then I'll restart the program. If not, okay, it updated to there we go. Never mind. I'm going to leave my phone up here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, there's the latest scan for velocity. Very strong area of rotation approaching the towns of Pursley, Luzon, I guess how you say it, Luzon, Kidwell, Adonis, Sandusky, Pollard, Middlebourne. Let's see, debris. There still is barely any debris showing up, and I struggle to believe it unless it has just not really hit anything. That's also a possibility, but it's going over some towns right now, unfortunately. Any other reports out there? There's a tornado warning around Louisville. Since that scan just updated, it's an observed. Dang it. Missed that. Okay, observed tornado warning for the Louisville area. Oh, yeah. Right here around Pilcher Landing. There's the velocities coming in. Very strong outbounds and inbounds. I'm impressed that it did not take the tower out. I won't lie. But yeah, observed tornado warning. It says just radar confirmed tornado. So there's another observed warning for West Point, Howard, Cupio, Pitts Point, Beech Grove, Salt River, Shepherdsville, Gap in Knob. Wow. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this. That is not the highest criteria warning. That would be these pink boxes, PDS tornado warnings. I'm going to hop back up to these on my phone, make sure I'm not missing them. It is pretty wild how far apart these things are as well. It's like the power just flickered here. Hopefully we don't lose power. All right, 408 is the latest scan. Probably about to get that in here. There it is, 408. So we're going to wait for velocity to update here, and it should any second. Oh, boy. 4:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There it is. I will say, it looks like a big mess. There's a lot of strong values in here, but it does look like a big mess, and that is helpful. So it is possible we have a tornado down, but we have now several areas of possible debris in the air, so it's hard to say. Now that we just got that, new tornado warning over here for areas around Morgantown. What state are we in here? West Virginia. Some strong rotation in the mid-levels around between Georgetown and National, Booth, Edna, Laurel Point. So any of you guys are in and around that area, take shelter now. And then we have a few more other tornado warnings down here as well. None of these look too crazy, I won't lie. This one around the Louisville area, this is going to be interesting. Oh boy. There's the normal map. Just change it to the brightest white I could find. Yeah, if you're just tuning in now, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Just doing some severe weather coverage here. Looks like, yeah, I mean, if there's a tornado down, it is literally over the Louisville, Kentucky radar tower right now. Hopefully we don't lose it. This is a recent scan here, but hopefully that it doesn't take the tower out. That would be pretty devastating. Massive storm moving towards the Middlebourne area in West Virginia here. A lot of just strong storms in general around this area, but this is the main one. There's a lot of rotation over here around the town of Rainbow, Ohio as well. Devola, Whipple. Doesn't really seem to have a warning on it. Watch that. 411. Just got an update here. My phone's even behind. Interesting. All right, we're going to leave it on velocity. Play the waiting game. Come on, velocities. I will say, I mean, I'm looking at storm reports right now. There are barely any from today. There's plenty of, wind and hail, but no tornado reports. Oh, yeah, there's the latest scan. Looks pretty disorganized, but it could quickly wrap back up here. What a strong area of rotation. Just south and west of the town of Morgantown, the areas around Morgantown, West Virginia. That is a very obvious velocity coupler right there. Very small looking storm though. Let me check back in one more time on this storm down here around the Louisville area. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. This storm that's, it's got a PDS warning on it. Looks very disorganized. That could change. So please defer yourself to other streams. Max Velocity, Ryan Hall. Just to give a shout out, Will Bratton, he runs a channel. I don't know him personally, but I saw some of his stream yesterday. I saw one of his long form videos. Seems like a very knowledgeable dude. Makes some pretty great videos. So I think he's streaming now. You can go tune into him. I'm going to cut it for right now. And, if this afternoon, later this afternoon, this evening, we'll see. I'm back. What's happening? Oh, Joey, you may have missed it. I might be here for a couple more minutes. I was going to be planning on heading off. How's the weather in East looking like for tomorrow? For tomorrow, I'm going to pull up the Outlook. I almost entirely forgot how to do that. I won't lie. Tomorrow's severe weather outlook. Oh, yeah, we do have that marginal risk. Yeah, for those of you wondering, Easley, South Carolina is in like the northern upstate. That's where I'm located. And it also is where Keegan is located. Zoom into this for a minute here. Leave you guys right here. Yeah, Easley tomorrow looks possible tornado threat in Easley. There is not. You gotta stop making stuff up, Keegan. Tornado threats to the north of us. I'm gonna look back at the future radar here. It appears they actually just dropped the tornado warning for the Louisville area, by the way. Yeah, I'm doing some things behind the scenes here. You can't see them. I'm looking at the future radar for the southeast tomorrow. Oh, we got the 18Z HRRR just came in. Yeah, looking at this now, I would say that what we need to watch for tomorrow in like the Easley area, South Carolina, is going to be later in the afternoon / evening. We have a frontal area, a boundary coming through that could have some storms along it. It's very interestingly placed warnings here. Yeah, this one, according to what I think I just saw, is expired. When was this going to end? Till 4:30. Well, that's interesting. That's so I don't know what's going on here. Did it kill the tower? It doesn't appear. Still getting 3-minute updates. Yeah, for those of you just tuning in now, number one, I won't be live for that much longer. Number two, we do technically still have a PDS tornado warning for an area of very strong rotation around the town of Pollard. It just passed over Pursley, Luzon, Kidwell, and it'll be going down towards Conaway, Link, Meeker, Frew over the next few minutes. So, in the very least, a very strong area of rotation, but there doesn't appear to be much debris in the air from this, which is great. So it's either not hit much or it is just weakening. New tornado warning was issued for this hazard. It is not PDS. I don't think they're going to make it a PDS warning. But yeah, I think with that said, I'm going to end stream now. I've been live for just over 2 hours. Maybe come back this afternoon. I know I've said that before. See you, Joey. Yeah, I know I've said I've come back before. Really, it just hasn't been much to cover by the time I could come back, but I may come back later if there's something I really want to see. So, all that said, thank you for watching. Thanks for the support. Any new viewers, subscribers, I appreciate it. Like the stream if you haven't already. And I might see you guys in a few hours on the long form video. Bye, Keegan. Thank you.